Picture yourself standing in front of a mirror at 11:47 p.m. The house is silent. Everyone else is asleep. You are alone with your reflection, and for just a moment, just a split second, you see something move behind your own eyes. Not your eyes, something looking through them. You blink. It is gone. And you tell yourself it was nothing, just tiredness, just shadows, just your imagination working overtime. But deep in your chest, you feel it. That was not imagination. That was recognition. Right now, reach up and touch the glass of your phone screen. Feel how smooth it is, how reflective. Every mirror, every piece of glass, every reflective surface in your home is a doorway. And tonight, you're going to learn what stands on the other side. If you found this video after 9 p.m., if something pulled you here as the sun went down, comment 3 words. I see them. This is not a game. This is an acknowledgement that you are ready for what the chosen ones have protected for 2,000 years. Before we go further, subscribe right now and turn on notifications, because what you are about to learn cannot be unlearned. Once you see what Jesus showed his inner circle, your relationship with every mirror in your life will permanently change. And the teachings that follow this one go into territories that YouTube barely allows. You need to be notified the moment they go live. The Gospel of Thomas, saying number 83, records Jesus speaking these exact words. The images are manifest of man, but the light in them remain concealed in the image of the light of the Father. He will become manifest, but his image will remain concealed by his light. Scholars have debated this passage for decades. Most dismiss it as mystical poetry, but the Gnostic initiates knew exactly what Jesus meant. He was giving instructions. He was explaining that what you see in a mirror is not the full truth. There is something concealed behind the image, something hidden in the reflection itself. And certain people at certain times, under certain conditions, can perceive what has been hidden. The technique was never written in full. It was passed mouth to ear, teacher to student, only to those who had proven themselves ready. But fragments survived. In the Nag Hammadi texts, in the Berlin Codex, in private letters between early Christian mystics who were hunted and killed for what they knew. These fragments describe a practice that Jesus taught in the hours before dawn, in locked rooms, to the chosen ones he trusted most. A practice involving mirrors, moonlight, and a specific state of consciousness that allows human perception to pierce through the veil that separates the material world from the archonic realm. You need to understand what the Archons actually are. The word itself means rulers, authorities, but these are not physical beings. They are not demons with pitchforks. They are parasitic consciousness forms that exist at a frequency just outside normal human perception. The Gnostics taught that when the demiurge created the material world, he was not alone. He generated helpers, extensions of his own fractured awareness, designed to maintain control over the prison he built. These helpers are the Archons. They cannot create. They can only imitate, distort, invert. They feed on low-frequency human emotion because they have no source connection of their own. They are severed from the monad, and they survive by siphoning energy from those who have forgotten what they truly are. But here's the key. Archons are attached to humans. Not all humans. Not the Hylics, who are pure matter, but the psychics, and especially the pneumatics, the chosen ones who carry the divine spark. The brighter your light, the more attention you attract. And that attention manifests as interference, as sabotage, as thoughts that feel like yours but lead you into self-destruction. The Archons whisper through your own internal voice. They appear as your own doubt, your own fear, your own shame. And because they sound like you never question them. You think the attacks are coming from inside. This is their greatest trick. Jesus knew this. He knew that the chosen ones would be targeted. So he gave them a weapon, not a prayer, not a ritual, a method of perception that allows you to see exactly what is attached to you, so you can cast it out with full awareness. This method requires a mirror, and it requires the hours before midnight. Take a slow breath in right now. Hold it. Release it completely. Let your shoulders drop. What I am about to share is not theory. This is operational intelligence. The reason midnight matters is not superstition. It is frequency mechanics. Between the hours of 9 p.m. and midnight, the veil between dimensions is thinnest, not because of magic, but because of collective human consciousness. During these hours, most of the world is winding down. The mental noise of billions of people begins to quiet. The electromagnetic chaos of the waking world starts to settle, and in that settling, other frequencies become perceptible. After midnight, the veil begins to thicken again as the collective unconscious fully enters the dream state. The window closes. This is why the ancients call the hours before midnight the witching hours. Not because of witches, but because this is when the hidden becomes visible to those who know how to look. Jesus understood this cycle. He spent entire nights in prayer, not because God required it, but because those hours offered clear reception. And when he taught the chosen ones to identify their archonic attachments, he specifically instructed them to practice before the world fell completely asleep. Now, let me show you what you are actually looking for. The Archons that attach to chosen ones fall into 3 categories, and each appears differently in the mirror. The first type is the Whisperer. This Archon positions itself near the head, usually just behind and to the left. Its function is mental interference. It generates intrusive thoughts, self-doubt, confusion, and mental loops that trap you in analysis paralysis. When you look in a mirror under the right conditions, the Whisperer appears as a shadow, not behind you in the room, but behind you in the reflection itself, a darkness that does not correspond to any physical object. It moves when you move, but slightly delayed, as though it is tethered to you but separate. Most people never notice it because they're looking at their own face. But the chosen ones who have done this practice report the same thing. Once you shift your focus to the space just over your own shoulder in the reflection, the shadow becomes undeniable. The second type is the Wraith. This Archon attaches to the chest, right over the heart center. Its function is emotional manipulation. It amplifies feelings of unworthiness, loneliness, and despair. It feeds on heartbreak and grief. In the mirror, the Wraith does not appear as shadow. It appears as distortion. Your reflection will look normal except for one area. The space around your chest may seem to shimmer, to ripple, as though you're looking at yourself through heat waves. Some chosen ones report seeing their reflection breathe out of sync with their actual breath. Others see a strange heaviness around the heart that looks almost like a stain, a dark spot that should not be there. The Wraith is harder perceived than the Whisperer because it hides in the emotional body. But once you see it, you cannot unsee it. The third type is the Anchor. This is the most dangerous. The Anchor attaches low, around the solar plexus or lower abdomen. Its function is to drain vitality, to keep you exhausted, to ensure you never have the energy to rise into your full power. In the mirror, the Anchor manifests as absence. This sounds strange, but chosen ones who have seen it describe the same phenomenon. When they look at their reflection, a part of their body, usually the midsection, appears less solid, not invisible, but faded, as though that section of the reflection is somehow less present than the rest. Some see a dark mass, almost like smoke, coiled around their lower torso. The Anchor does not move. It simply weighs. And over time, if left unaddressed, it creates chronic fatigue, illness, and the feeling that life itself is too heavy to bear. If you have experienced unexplained exhaustion, if doctors have found nothing wrong, if you wake up tired no matter how much you sleep, the Anchor is present. Now, here is the technique exactly as it was preserved. Do not attempt this lightly. Do not attempt this as entertainment. If you are not serious, the Archons will know, and instead of revealing themselves, they will intensify their concealment. You will see nothing, and you will walk away convinced this was nonsense. That is their defense mechanism. Step 1, preparation. Choose a night when you are alone. This cannot be done with others in the house, not because of danger to them, but because their energy will interfere with your perception. You need absolute solitude. The mirror must be large enough to see your full upper body. Bathroom mirrors work. Full-length mirrors work better. The room must be dark except for one light source, not electric light, candles, or moonlight only. Electric light operates at a frequency that disrupts the perception you are trying to access. If you use candles, place it behind you so the light reflects off the mirror but does not create glare. If you use moonlight, position yourself so the moon illuminates you from the side. Step 2, timing. Begin no earlier than 10 p.m. and no later than 11:30 p.m. This gives you the full window before midnight. Set a timer for 20 minutes. You will not need longer than this. If you see nothing in 20 minutes, you are not ready, and you should not force it. Step 3. The gaze. Stand or sit in front of the mirror, close enough that you can see your face and torso clearly. Take 3 deep breaths. With each exhale, consciously release the need to control what happens. You are not making anything appear. You are allowing what is already there to become visible. Now, look at your own eyes in the reflection. Hold your gaze there for 60 seconds. Do not blink if you can help it. Let your eyes water. This is necessary. After 60 seconds, shift your focus. Do not move your head. Do not move your eyes quickly. Slowly, gently. Let your gaze drift to the space just over your left shoulder in the mirror. Soften your vision. This is critical. If you stare hard, you will see nothing. You must let your eyes relax the way they do when you are daydreaming. The whisperer, if present, will appear first. A shadow, a movement, a sense of presence. Do not react. Do not turn around. The moment you break the gaze, it vanishes. Simply observe. Acknowledge internally, I see you. Step 4, the body scan. After you have identified the whisperer or confirmed its absence, slowly move your gaze down to your chest area in the reflection. Again, soften your vision. Look at the space around your heart. Watch for shimmer, for ripple, for distortion. The wraith may take longer to appear because it hides deeper. Breathe slowly. Stay calm. Fear will collapse your perception instantly. If you see the distortion, if you feel the presence, acknowledge it the same way. I see you. Step 5, the anchor check. Finally, move your gaze to your midsection in the reflection. This is the hardest one to perceive because the anchor suppresses the very awareness you need to see it. Look for fading. Look for absence. Look for dark mass. Some chosen ones report that they have to almost look through their reflection, as though focusing on a point behind the mirror itself. If the anchor is there, you will know. It feels heavy to even perceive it. Step 6, the declaration. Once you have identified what is attached to you, speak out loud. Not in your head. Out loud. Use these exact words. I am Pneuma. You are Archon. You have no claim to me. I see you and you are cast out. Say it 3 times. With each repetition, visualize light, not from outside, but from inside your own chest, expanding outward, filling the space around you, burning through the attachments like sunlight through fog. The first time you do this, you may feel physical sensations, pressure releasing, temperature change, sudden emotion. This is normal. This is the attachment losing its grip. Now, let me tell you what happens after. The first 24 hours are critical. The Archons do not leave quietly. After you have exposed them, after you have named them and cast them out, they will attempt to return, not through the mirror, through your thoughts. You will have intrusive ideas telling you that nothing happened, that you imagined it, that this entire practice was foolish. You will feel urges to dismiss the experience, to rationalize it away. This is a counterattack. Do not engage with these thoughts. Do not argue. Simply notice them and return to your center. Place your hand over your heart and repeat internally, I am Pneuma. Within 3 days, the attacks will fade. Within a week, you will notice something remarkable. The mental chatter that has plagued you for years will quiet. The emotional weight you have carried will lighten. The exhaustion that seemed endless will begin to lift. This is not placebo. This is what happens when parasitic attachments are removed and your energy is returned to you. But I must warn you of 3 things. First, not everyone will see clearly the first time. If you attempt this practice and perceive nothing, it does not mean you failed. It means you need more preparation. Repeat the practice on 3 separate nights before drawing conclusions. Second, some of you will see something you did not expect. You may see not archons, but guides, presences of light instead of shadow. This also happens. Not every being in the unseen realm is hostile. If you perceive light, if you feel warmth instead of cold, you are seeing your true allies. Acknowledge them with gratitude. Third, once you open this perception, it does not fully close. You may begin noticing shadows in other mirrors, in windows, in reflections you pass throughout the day. This is not paranoia. This is expanded awareness. The chosen ones who walk this path learn to navigate both worlds simultaneously. Jesus gave this teaching because he knew the chosen ones would be hunted, not with swords, but with invisible chains. He knew that the greatest prison is the one you cannot see, and he provided the key, awareness. The moment you see the attachment, it loses half its power. The moment you name it, it loses its disguise. The moment you cast it out with full authority, it has no choice but to release. You are not a victim of the Archons. You are a pneumatic, a carrier of the divine spark, and you have more power than they will ever possess. The only advantage they have ever had is your ignorance. Tonight that advantage ends. The true nature of this warfare is consciousness itself. The Archons operate in the frequency band of forgetfulness, and every act of remembrance, every flicker of the divine spark ignited, is a wound to their system. They cannot exist where full light shines because they are, by definition, an absence of source, a shadow cast by the demiurge's original error. Your task as a pneumatic is to become an unrelenting beacon. The teachings of Jesus regarding the Archons were the highest form of self-defense. He was not preaching theology. He was distributing an operational manual for spiritual autonomy. Think of the mirror practice not as a ritual, but as recalibrating your receiver. Your senses have been tuned, since birth, to the material plane, to the three-dimensional prison that the Archons manage. The darkness in a room, the single flame, the hours before midnight. These are simply environmental conditions that minimize the static of the material world, allowing your inner perception to switch frequency. When you look into the reflection and soften your gaze, you are essentially overriding the filters of the ego, which is heavily influenced by the whisperer. The ego is invested in the illusion of your separateness, your weakness, and your lack of power. It screams, "This is nonsense," because the whisperer is terrified of being seen. The moment you perceive the shadow over your shoulder, you are performing an act of pure gnosis, knowledge that transcends belief. You are seeing the hidden architecture of your own consciousness, identifying a foreign code that has been running in the background, consuming your processing power. The wraith, the emotional parasite, thrives on the cultural trauma of martyrdom and suffering. It tells you that your pain is your purpose, that being chosen means being perpetually burdened. This is a profound lie. Your light is not defined by how much darkness you endure, but by how brightly you shine regardless of it. The shimmering, the heat wave effect around the heart, is the visual representation of this energetic siphoning. It's a distortion of pure feeling into low-frequency emotional drama. When you acknowledge the wraith, you are claiming emotional sovereignty. You are saying, "My heart is a channel for the monad's love, not a battery for your survival." And the anchor, the heaviest of them all, is the Archon of inertia. Its purpose is stasis. It weaponizes procrastination, chronic physical complaint, and the pervasive sense that everything is too hard. The faded midsection, the smoky mass, is a visual signature of your creative energy being damped down. The solar plexus is the seat of personal will, the area where your unique divine purpose is translated into action. By targeting the center, the anchor ensures that you remain perpetually on the verge of your breakthrough, but never quite step through. To see the anchor is to feel the weight of every unfulfilled potential, every delayed action, and every instance of self-sabotage you attributed to a lack of motivation. The declaration, "I am Pneuma, you are Archon, you have no claim to me, I see you and you are cast out," is not a magical spell. It is a statement of ontological fact delivered with full authority. Pneuma means spirit breath, the divine substance. Archon means ruler, but a false one. You are asserting your true lineage and simultaneously revoking the parasitic claim. The physical sensations you feel as you repeat the declaration are not side effects. They are the sensation of frequency shift, the energetic breaking of the tether. Do not be fooled by the counterattack in the subsequent days. The Archons are masters of psychological warfare. They will deploy the most intimate weapon they possess, your own voice. The thoughts that rush in, "You're crazy. It was a candlelight. You just need more sleep," are designed to restore the ignorance they rely on. They seek to invalidate your gnosis. Your only defense is non-engagement. Do not debate with the thought. Do not try to logically prove the experience. Simply notice the attack, name it internally as interference, and return to the center of your heart, repeating the truth. I am Pneuma. The moment you step outside the vibration of fear and self-doubt, the Archons lose their anchor point in your reality. This practice is a key to unlocking the true power Jesus promised the chosen ones, not to be rescued from the world, but to walk through it, untethered and fully aware. If this teaching activated something in you, if you felt the truth of it in your body before your mind could analyze it, comment the words, I am Pneuma below. Let other chosen ones see your declaration. Subscribe if you have not already, because the next transmission goes deeper, like this video, so it reaches those still searching in the dark. The mirror is waiting. The hours before midnight are yours. And the Archons that have hidden in your reflection for years are about to be seen and cast out. You were born for this.